Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the Mount Juliet Chamber Coffee with a Candidate program. Excited to have with us this afternoon the current County Mayor, Randall Hutto, running for re-election, and he is here to share with you why he's the best candidate for the position. And if you haven't already got to meet him, then ask him to start out by telling us a little bit about himself and what you'd like the voters to know about your campaign. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you having me on here, and I appreciate you doing this for our voters that maybe have not had a chance to hear what the candidates are all about. So I think that's good for everybody. This is something new in our county with the primary election, and we are running for, or I'm running for, the Republican nominee for the election for county mayor, and excited about doing that. And so as we think about that, that means early voting starts this Wednesday, April 13th through the 28th. May 3rd is the actual vote date. So we encourage everyone to get out and let your voice be heard. I will be on the Republican ticket, and I'm asking you, I guess, right now for your vote as we talk. The county is in great shape right now. I've enjoyed being the county mayor for the past 12 years. And I know some people will say, gosh, that's, what about term limits? And I hear that, since this race has come up. But, I go back and think about that our county, when they always say, hey, let's run government like business. Well, if you got a good corporate CEO and he's doing good, you don't really get rid of him. And right now, when you think about our county, we really rank in the top mark of everything that I can think of almost. We're number one in location because everybody wants to be here right now, especially companies that are in logistics side. But just in the southeastern region, we're not doing a whole lot of pitching to get companies to come from nationwide areas. We're catching because they're coming, and many times they get here before we even realize they're here. I think the next thing is that we're number one in education because the number one reason people move to Wilson County is education. And I'm very thankful that we've done that because, our people value that. That's our number one investment in the county as far as our tax dollars go. I was actually proud to see the citizens of Wilson County pass a tax on themselves, which is very rare, when they did the sales tax vote here, referendum just recently, because they wanted to make sure that we had good teachers. So to be able to retain and obtain good teachers, that's been a plus to see that and welcome that. So very thankful for that. We're the second wealthiest county in the state, the second healthiest county in the state, the third fastest growing. We were first fastest growing about 2 years ago. We're second in life expectancy. We're 78 years of age, and hope that's not talking to anybody that's over that right now, but 81 is in Williamson County. But, so there are a lot of good things, third lowest unemployment. So we really rank at the top, and it's really a good place to live, Mark, and a good place to be. And I would love to continue to do what we've done and continue to build a program. You think about, we just got through with March basketball season, and, if you got a good coach winning there, like we had, let's say at Cumberland University with Woody Hunt, you don't say after a few years of winning, hey, let's get some new ideas, let's see if we can do something to make that better. So I would enjoy continue to build the program.
When you talk about stability, financial stability, what have the last 12 years been like from maybe the way it was when you got here to with fiscal conservatism or good choices from your office, the county commissioners, and a lot of people? What kind of shape are we in? Not necessarily compared to other counties, but from where we've been. How well are we doing financially? We've had the tornadoes, we've had the winds, we've had the pandemic. All of those things are a drain on limited resources. How are we doing money-wise?
Mark, and I guess you're going to think that, hey, look, he's the mayor, so he's going to say that. But I truly can say, and anybody can fact check it, we are financially stronger than we've ever been. We've really done a good job of trying to make sure that we have passed our budget on time, which is really hasn't been done in our history. We had a history of not passing the budget till August, but the past 3 years we've passed it on June 30th, which is fantastic for us. We've been able to balance our budget, which we've always had to go back and use some of the use some of the fund balance over the savings account to make expenditures and revenues meet, but we don't do that anymore. We have enough on paper to do it on both ways. When I got here in 2010, we had a low fund balance, what people would call a savings account of about $10,000 on a $190 million budget. And that is just really unheard of. And the county commission heard our cry for that. And so they actually helped us build that up. We were actually at 20 million just a little while back. We're down to 15 million right now because we spent some money out that will be backfilled, in my opinion, with the ARP funds, but we're strong there. We've been able to take advantage of low interest rates, Mark, as well. We've refinanced enough bonds over the last 10 years to save the taxpayer, not extending the loan out, but just taking advantage of low interest rate, $17 million plus. So that is tremendous. When you think about, which I know you're very conscious of, let's shop Wilson County. We've tried to drive that home. If you go back and look at what sales tax collections were, 2018 in January, they were 5.4 million. As January of 2022, that has risen to 11 million, Mark. So sales tax continues to just rise. We, back in 2017, we knew that to get low interest rates on our bonds, we really had to move our bond rating up. And so we went from a AA to AA plus, which is only 5 other counties in the state that have that and 3 counties that have AAA. We were going for the AAA plus in 2020. And of course, as you well know, the world turned over. So, as of today, people will say things to me like, well, Mayor, here we're in all this debt, well, we really are not in any further debt than we were back in 1996. Right now, we're at about 2% of what is valued against the assessed value of the property that's here in Wilson County. For example, if I go to buy my house, the bank is not going to loan me any more money than that house or that I have assets to back up. Okay, so the same thing is true with me borrowing money to build schools. No doubt you have more people move here, you're going to have a larger expenses. Just like when you first got married, your budget was so much. And when you added 4 kids, that budget grew. And it's the same thing here. We have grown in population so much that we've had to grow our budget. So, education, we must build schools. And so our debt now is about 2.9% of the assessed value of property. And assessed value of property has really risen over time here. I don't have the exact numbers right now in front of me, but it really has gone up, and that's good for the taxpayer as well. And I'll say one more thing. In 2020, we ended 1.4 million to the good. And because of the scare of 2020, we really cut back on things. We ended up with COVID money coming in 7 million to the good in 2021. So Mark, we are financially strong in spite of me.
In spite of you,
Yes,
I know folks are excited and have been looking forward to a couple of, specifically in this area, at least a couple of new fire stations for increased coverage. What's that challenge been like?
It is something that you have to keep up with. And you talk about infrastructure. Many people talk about that today. And, Mayor, what have you done about that? Well, when you think about the number of employees that we've added on the human infrastructure side, when I got here in 2010, it was roughly 575 employees. Today, it's 709 employees. So we've added as time has gone on because of the growth. But when you think about just the buildings that we've done, we have actually built, 5 WEMA stations. Since we've been here, remodeled the Statesville station. We built a Veterans Plaza to honor our veterans. Down in Mount Jude, as you well know, we took the old Green Hill Women's Club and turned into a Mount Jude clerk's office, which really been good because the citizens, you're the largest city in the county right now. And we have a lot of people that use that satellite office. We built the Wilson County Expo in order to make some quality of life events happen here, and we're excited about that. When you think about the state fair coming here, that's added another $14.5 million in assets to the James E. Ward Ag Center. We've done a jail addition, as we talk about today as well, to keep up with the growth, which is going to double the size of the jail and should take care of our capacity for years to come, which is very important there. We bought a surprise building beside the road commission to put all of them under one roof, and actually sold the old road commission just the other day for $860,000 to get that money back in the account. So we've done a lot to take care of and work on our infrastructure, Mark. And people are going to say, well, what about roads? What are you doing there? And roads are one of those issues that we have to continue to work with. But when you think about the road expansion projects that are out here today, 109 now finally being widened. I-40 is on its 3rd leg. It went from Mount Jude to 109, now 109 to 840, and now they're planning from 840 all the way to Highway 70. 141 to Hartsville's done. As you well know, we talked about down in Mount Juliet, Central Pike interchange is on the docket to be done there, and they'll improve Central Pike there all the way over to Mount Juliet Road and all the way from Mount Juliet Road there to Old Hickory into Nashville. So that is going to be an expansion on those two roads. Right now, as we talk about road projects coming out of Providence, we're going to widen that past Central Pike down there from Providence way past that. Highway 70 from Park Glen out to Bender's Ferry as you're going to turn to go into Mount Juliet High School. And then right in front of West Wilson Elementary out there on 70, that's going to be widened. We've turned in the rest of that 2.9 mile stretch on 70 to TDOT for engineering and funding because that is a missing link right there. And Mark, that's just a few of the projects. Where we really struggle though right now is our county roads, and we really have petitioned as county mayors to have more funding sent to us to be able to do that. The state has money for roads, the cities have money for roads, but the counties do not get additional monies for those roads. And of course, they keep growing each year. Every subdivision that's added, they build them to our specs and they hand them over to us. We got 856 miles of road in the county. That's one way. So 1,700 pretty much both ways that we have to maintain. So building roads is a hard time to find, where are we at? And we're a pay-as-you-go company when it comes to road building. We don't borrow money for roads. We only borrow money for infrastructure, and we don't borrow money for operational needs, which is different from the federal government. But with that, so we've got to really attack our county roads now and find a funding source for those. That's our weak link right now.
Talk real quick, if you would, tell us, county mayor, some people may not even really know what that is, but we have also 3 city mayors, and probably hard to do what you need to do or any of them to do it if we're not, at least most of the time, all on the same page or at least in the same playbook. What's that been like juggling the needs, which they are pretty clearly 3 different types of communities all in the same county? And how often do you work with the city mayors?
As mayors, we do work together well, and you'll hear that out in the community. Well, I hear Lebanon don't like Mount Juliet or Watertown don't like Lebanon. There's always going to be competitions within the cities, but our mayors, we rode on the same wagon together this year at the fair, and I kept that picture because that exemplifies that we have a good relationship with James Madison, Rick Bell, and Mike Jennings. And I had it with Mayor Haggerty before we left, and Linda Elam as well there in Mount Juliet. A lot of people do not realize that the county mayor, which probably has all the responsibility and no real authority, it's different than a city mayor that's in charge of everybody underneath, can hire and fire those. I have to work with elected officials that are elected just like I am and answer only to the people and not to me. So really, for me to move the ball forward or move the cheese, as people would say sometimes, it really requires unity and it really requires people working together. So I have to work with them and ask them to work with me and try to get departments to work ahead. And as you well know, most of the time people move a lot better when they believe it's their idea. So really, my coaching background really figures in here to get everybody on the same team and headed in the same direction. That's the difference in this job as opposed to being a department head. If you're a department head, yeah, you can tell your people what to do and when to do it, and and they got to answer to you. But at the county mayor, you really got to work on consensus. You've got to really bring people together. It's not as easy just to say, hey, you're going to go do this, Sheriff, because the sheriff can tell me, hey, Mayor, I'm not doing that. Or James Madison may say, Mayor, I'm not doing that. So we must have a good working relationship and we must be on the same page. And I will tell you this, and I believe this with all my heart, the leaders in this county do wear the same color jersey when we compete against the other 94 counties in the state. That's why we're at the top. Unity, Mark, is the most important thing to moving this county forward.
Well, that is a great one to end on, and I want to thank you for what you've done to help us get where we're at. Remind folks that the election is May the 3rd. Early voting starts on Wednesday, April the 13th. May the 3rd, not April. Early voting starts April 13th. Very accessible. Mayor Hutto, your office is in the courthouse, just about 1 block east of the square in Lebanon. And if anybody has any questions, they can reach you at your office. Your staff is there to help them out as well. And with that, I think our time has come. Why don't you share a final thought and remind folks who you'd like for them to vote for?
Well, Mark, thank you. I appreciate your hospitality as always. And as I came on board, you were already here. You welcomed me in as a friend and a part of the family. And I think that's very important. I've always felt at home in Mount Juliet. You know, I live in Lebanon. I grew up in Watertown, and it really does make a lot of difference for me. And I want the people to know that I love serving you. You know, my goal every day is when we come to work is to make Wilson County the place that you're proud to call home. You know, and I'm accessible. As Mark says, he's allowed me into his home down there at the chamber. I would give you this. My cell number is 615-405-1611, and invite you, if you have a question, a comment, a concern, or want to give me some advice, just please pick up the phone and call me. I am here to serve you. That is my job. I'm not a politician. I am a servant. That's what I came to do, and that's what I hope to continue to do if you allow me, as I ask you for your vote in this upcoming.
Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to spend a few minutes with us. This will be available online here before too long, okay? And I will
Thank
see
you.
soon. Thank you, Mayor. Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.